this dinner has been a prayer answered really of how God has blessed us in our trip. And just when we are starting here, I want to share a little bit about how this trip came about, what the vision of this trip is, and also then go into this time period of the ministries that we want to present to you that we visited. And so first of all, does anyone know what the theme of our trip was?
Love in action.
It's not that hard, really. So it's love in action. The reason why is not because love in action sounds kind of pretty cool or something. It's because we want to really put God's love into action. And so that is our prayer throughout the trip, that we wouldn't be the same as just a group that would just go and give money or do good works, but that we really want to live it out and say, this is us in action. We want to love the Cambodians. And I mean, that's not natural, okay? I can't say that I love Cambodians naturally before even going to Cambodia, but I think God's placed that love in my heart. And I dare say that at the end of this trip, I can say the whole team really loves this country, this nation, and the people there. And so I'm very thankful. The first ministry that we want to present to you, this is not the only ministry that we visited. There were a number of activities that we did. We went to the prison, we went to the hospital, we went to orphanages, we went to lots of things. But these are the three things that really burdened our hearts. And we wanted to have this dinner to share it with you, and hopefully that you can share that burden with us as well. And so the first one is called Stung Min Chi, rubbish dump. And I probably am saying this wrong, but Tim is the only one who can actually correct me. So the rubbish dump literally is a rubbish dump. I don't know whether anyone has heard of this rubbish dump before. Has anyone seen pictures or heard on the news what this rubbish dump is? It's basically the biggest rubbish dump in Phnom Penh. They literally dump tons and tons of rubbish here. Just to give you an idea, I do want to show you a video of the dump. It's not a professional video. We took it while we were there, but I do want to give you an idea of what it was like so that you also can see for yourselves. So I'm just going to ask Ross to play. I hope that gave you just a glimpse of what it was. We climbed a rubbish mountain. We really literally climbed one. It was hectares of rubbish, and it was just like that. That was actually part of a little bit of on top of it. That was after walking 15 minutes of rubbish from the bottom. And that was what we saw, and we walked and we talked to the people there. And I can say that it's not easy to be in a place like that and say, well, why is it there? Why are there people there? I can understand the rubbish, but I don't understand why people were there. And the only reason why they were there is because they were picking rubbish. They lived there, they worked there, they played there. And it's a place where they call their homes. And I want to show you some photos of what that was actually like for the people there. Just to give you some facts about it, the rubbish dump, I call it the rubbish dump because it's really a rubbish dump, but the other nickname for it is Smoky Mountain. Now note this picture, we took it while we were there. It's not actually tweaked in any way. It is that smoky. And so the fumes from burning the rubbish were constantly in this place. And the reason why they burned the rubbish is part of that processing, but it was just fumes, and the whole mountain was like that, basically. And so while we were up there, we couldn't even breathe properly. Anyone with asthma would have a problem. It's open for more than 15 years. There are 7 hectares of it. I can't comprehend how big that is, actually. We only saw a little bit of it, and 800 to 1,000 tons of garbage daily is being dumped there. I literally don't understand how much rubbish there is, but we can say that we walked on tons of rubbish. The second thing that we want to present to you is that roughly 2,000 to 3,000 people live and work there. the little clip that I showed you was only a bit of it. And so most of the people would be around the rubbish trucks. So the rubbish trucks will come every day, hourly, whatever time they come. And then as soon as the rubbish truck comes, you see a swarm of people. And they start picking on the fresh rubbish because they are picking on the best rubbish. And that's what they do for work, whether you're an adult or whether you're a child. And I think the hardest thing was actually seeing children pick on all this rubbish. I saw a child that was only about 7 years old, and she was carrying a bag, she was carrying a pick, and she was alone, and that was her work. And if you work for 12 hours a day, you can earn as much as $250 US. 12 hours. I don't know how much you earn one day. If you calculate your salaries, I mean, I'm sure it's more than $2.50 US. And that is actually going lower and lower because the rubbish is becoming less expensive to buy. And they pick it to do the recycling of it at another place and buys it from them. The next picture I wanted to show you is actually life there. It is not just a place to be. It is life. The children are there all the time. The next picture shows something about where they live. So this is an alley. These are the homes that they live in. And this is someone washing their clothes. And that was that. I mean, it was as simple as that. The places that they live in are just boards and a hut. And that's it. They don't have much possessions. The only possessions that they have are probably the ones that they can pick from the rubbish dump. So the next few pictures shows an example of a home. Really not much of a home, but the boards is where they sleep and eat and do everything else on. And most of the children are just running around outside. The next picture, you can go to the next picture, is the ministry, I think, that we visited. So this is, though it's a home, this is a workplace, we actually went to visit a ministry called Water of Life, or better known as Jehovah Jireh. Jehovah Jireh is actually God provides, which is an interesting name for a place like in the rubbish dump. The ministry that they do there is to reach out to the children, because there are so many children there. If they're not working, then they're just at home, around the streets, playing. And so what they do is they run a daycare center for the children. They bring them in, they feed them a meal, a hot meal, they wash them, and they clean their wounds, and they educate them. And so this is all done as like a day center, from morning till about 3:30. And what they do is they teach them the most basic Khmer English language. They tell Bible stories, and for each child it's only USD $1 a day to do this for them. And most of them don't have an opportunity to go to school, and this is all they have. The other thing that they do is healthcare, and so for the Friday clinic, more than 100 people would go there at one time in the day, and they would have pregnancy checkups, they would deliver babies for them, they would feed the mothers, and they would have women's classes on general healthcare. And every Saturday they would have kids club. This is only a small portion of what they do, and the reason why they need funds when we visited them is that we discovered that the US organization that was supporting them was actually going to stop supporting them. And that is because of the financial crisis that has hit the world, I guess. And so we just felt, we're just going to do whatever we want. We can do it with the people there. And honestly, our hearts is not so much the fact that they just live in this rubbish dump, but that they are people, and they are children, and they are adults there who deserve something more. And that's where my heart reaches out to. And I want to invite Shannon up now to share a little bit of what she learnt at the dump and her impressions of it and what God has taught her.